Hello fellow gamers, and welcome to our first Heartless guide on the final version of the first Kingdom Hearts game. In this video, I'll be doing a full detailed analysis on the Pink Agaricus Heartless. I'll be covering the Pink Agaricus Heartless from Deep Jungle and Atlantica, and all my personal data on this specific unique enemy type. This video is also going to double as a farming guide for the Serenity Power Synthesis item, and for the Prime Cap accessory. I'll be starting off this video with the more interesting of the two locations, Atlantica. This spawn will happen in the Undersea Cave. This, believe it or not, is actually the best place in the game to farm Serenity Powers. All of the white stop mushrooms will appear within 10 feet of each other in this heavily enclosed environment. So it's a simple matter of just changing the lock-on reticle and just moving up or down. This is the stark contrast to the Deep Jungle version, where the white mushrooms can appear well over 50 feet from each other, and can also appear on top of the treehouse or in the hanging boat. Sometimes they even appear on the walking beam at the back of the treehouse, or on top of this large podium. This version of the mushroom in Atlantica is a lot easier to spawn, and not only that, it actually has a much higher percentage chance of appearing here as well. In Deep Jungle, you have to walk in and out of the area tens of times just to spawn it once. But, as per the song, it is in fact better down where it's wetter, with a well over 90% spawn chance every time you reset the area. If you want to reset, all you have to do is just come out this way into the calm depths, kill all the Heartless here just to stop them from respawning, make sure you've unequipped Encounter Plus if you've got that equipped, and then come out here into the Undersea Valley. And that's it, now just go right back. And look at that, there he is again. Now, most places on the internet would tell you to steer clear of this one, because no one in the world thus far has posted any evidence of achieving 100 hits on this thing. Only problem though is, you don't need 100 hits on this thing for the Serenity Power. Only if you want the Prime Cap, a bragging rights item that's borderline useless at higher levels anyway. So, how many hits can you get on this thing? Well, the Pink Agaricus will only take damage when under the effect of the stop spell. After the spell wears off, it will count up all of your hits and reward you with money, potions, ethers, and of course the real prize, the Serenity Power Synthesis item. Contrary to what you might believe, you can do this with the base form of the stop spell. You see, stop doesn't actually last longer as you level it up to Stopka. All it does is increase its range. What actually matters here is your magic stat. The more magic you have, the longer the Heartless will stay stopped, and so the higher your score will be at the end of it. The maximum MP that Sora can have is 19, and this requires you to be at level 60 to receive your last MP upgrade from level up, be holding the Diamond Dust Keyblade, which gives you a +3 to your MP, and be wearing some combination of the following accessories: Cosmic Arts, Royal Crown, Atlas Armlet, and the Shiva Belt. Also, Sora will only have 19 MP with this setup if he chose the Rod at the start of the game. If he chose either of the other two weapons, he will instead have 17 max MP. It's not the biggest deal, but as the famous supermarket chain once said, every little helps. If you have 17 MP, then the stop spell will last you 19 seconds. And if you have 19 MP, it will last you 21 seconds. So down here under the sea, we run into a bit of a problem. This is Kingdom Hearts 1 Atlantica, so the movement options suck. Also, Sora doesn't have access to any of his summons, his limits, Ragnarok, or his entire arsenal of finishing moves. So we're stuck with just the basic combo and basic shortcut magic attacks. So let's do a bit of experimenting. First, make sure to set Donald and Goofy's AI so that their attacks are used rarely. Here in Atlantica, they don't really tend to attack it anyway, but just be safe. Annoyingly, if any of your party members hit this Heartless, they will actually heal it, which will subtract from your final score. So make sure that they're all turned off, and make sure to take away all of their attack abilities just to be safe. Now with all 3 Combo Plus abilities, we can increase our combo length to 7 total hits. If we combine this with the Aeroga spell, we can add an extra 2 damage per second, which adds up to 40 hits across 21 seconds. As we can see on screen right now, I'm doing nothing but using Aero to damage it. And, in just a few seconds, the score is exactly 40. Now we can run a simulation. If we use Fire, Blizzard and Thunder on this thing, we'll see that every single cast will do 1 hit per use. Gravity will also count as 1 hit per cast. But despite all 3 doing the exact same damage per cast, it seems like Fire is the fastest of the 3 to use, which leads to the highest number of hits per second. Now, we run into another problem with Fire though. Every time you use it, Sora recoils backwards, which will push the Pink Agaricus out of Aeroga's damage range. Now what happens if I just spam Aero with the X button? No strategy at all, just cast Aero and press X to attack. Okay, 77 hits. Not bad, but can it be better? Well, a problem with the basic 7-hit combo is that even though each individual hit is faster than a single cast of Fire, the finishing swing is slower than Fire by a few frames, which means that it's slightly more efficient to replace the final attack with Fire magic. Now let's try it with Fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Fire. There we go. 80 hits. That's more like it. And look at all the Serenity powers we just got off this thing. We've been here about 5 minutes, and we already have more than enough. This beats out Deep Jungle's time by a large margin. Now, I know you want me to keep pushing this Pink Agaricus to see how far we can go, but I'm gonna have to disappoint you. As of this recording, I've only managed to get 80 hits on this thing. No matter which combination of moves I use, 80 seems like the maximum. Which, given the restrictions, is actually not bad, but as of yet, no one's actually succeeded in getting 100 hits off on this thing. But the thing is, as long as you're only interested in Serenity powers, it doesn't matter if you don't get 100 hits. The way this Heartless's drops work is in sets of 3. You'll get the same drop rates, within the boundary of 10, 20 or 30 hits, 40, 50 and 60 hits, and the second best prizes that you'll get are found at 70, 80 or 90 hits. So as long as your score is above 70, you'll get the best result out of this Heartless. Just to put that into perspective, you can get this with Aeroga plus a 7-hit combo. No extra work is necessary. And if you want to spare your X button, you can even just sit there with Aeroga for 43 hits, which will give you a 10% chance of getting a Serenity power. Just for fun though, if any of you have any ideas of how to improve the score from 80 hits, just leave it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear any ideas you guys might have. Maybe there's some kind of animation cancel for the Keyblade swing that I don't know about. Okay, we finally got to the section that everyone's familiar with. The one everyone really came here for. The Deep Jungle Pink Agaricus. Okay, this one is significantly easier to get higher scores on, which is the trade-off that you get for this thing having a pretty low spawn rate. Okay, if you guys are interested in getting the Prime Cap for whatever reason, then this is the Pink Agaricus that you want to come to. I'm going to demonstrate how on screen right now to get the Prime Cap. Equip all of your air combo pluses, and also the Ragnarok limit. Okay, firstly, you're going to need to go and hunt down all the white stop mushrooms. Usually there'll be one right here at the opening, but sometimes it'll be in a number of different locations. These are over here on the netting, over here on top of the staircase, over here under the staircase, over here in this hanging boat, up here on the rafters, over here on the roof, just on this jutting out beam, over here on the balcony, And one more over here on this podium. Okay, you're going to want to find the easiest mushroom location and leave him for last. Usually it's this guy. Now go and cast Stop on the other two, and then come back here. Okay, now get underneath this branch, and make sure that Donald and Goofy is standing right next to you. Now summon Bambi. Once Bambi has been summoned, go and cast Stop on the final mushroom, and then make your way to the Pink Agaricus. Make sure that the camera is pointing to where Donald and Goofy disappeared, because this is where they're going to respawn after you dismiss Bambi. Cast Eroga on yourself, lock onto the mushroom's head, not its body, and then start spamming aerial combos. Right, every aerial combo that you make, you want to alternate between doing that, with a Hurricane Blast finisher if you can, and also Ragnarok. Just rinse and repeat this method, until the time runs out and you should have managed to get 100 separate hits on this thing. And when you do, it'll drop a ton of prizes. A bunch of Serenity Powers, Mystery Goo, and of course the treasured Prime Cap. An armor accessory that reduces your strength and increases your defense, both by 5. Okay, now that the cheese method is done away with, let's get over some of the more obscure details about this Heartless. The Deep Jungle variant will always spawn in this exact same location. If you fought the optional battles with Sabor back at the beginning of the game though, then the floorboards underneath this point will be gone, and the Pink Agaricus can fall down onto the netting below. This, strangely enough, actually makes it easier to get 100 hits on this thing, because it's easier to trap Donald and Goofy behind this giant branch. But to be fair, this doesn't matter all that much. Part 3. Drops. If you hit it 10, 20 or 30 times, it will drop 10 money and a potion. If you hit it 40, 50 or 60 times, it will drop 50 money and a high potion. And it will also have a 10% chance of dropping a Serenity Power. If you have 70, 80 or 90 hits on it, it will drop 100 money and an ether. And it also has an extra 20% chance of dropping another Serenity Power. And finally, if you hit it 100 times, it has a 100% chance of dropping a Prime Cap, 180 money, and a Serenity Power. And yep, all these drops do stack. So if you hit it 100 times, you'll get a 100% chance of getting one Serenity Power, a 10% chance of getting a second, and a 20% chance of getting a third, all in the same run. Lucky Strikes and Jackpot abilities will also increase the money percentage drops. Every Lucky Strike will add an extra 50% to your base rate of earnings. So if you hit it 40 times for that 10% Serenity Power drop, one Lucky Strike will increase that to 15%, 2 Lucky Strikes will increase that to 20%, and 3 Lucky Strikes will increase that to 25%. And if you hit it 70 times for that 20% base Serenity Power drop, 1 Lucky Strike will increase that to 30%, 2 Lucky Strikes will increase that to 40%, and 3 Lucky Strikes will make that a 50% chance of getting a Serenity Power drop. Part 4. Interesting Facts and Trivia. Okay, now that the encounters are done with, I'll talk briefly about some of the interesting facts about this Heartless. The Pink Agaricus is an emblem Heartless that is exclusive to Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix. This Heartless is not in the base game on the PS2, so if you play in that version, you will find that it doesn't exist in your game. It has its typical emblem Heartless spiral antenna on its cap, and its emblem is on its chest. When this Heartless is stopped, you can cast all 3 different kinds of attack magic to increase the hit counter, but it will do an additional animation for each of these 3 elements that you hit it with. If you cast fire on it, it will have an explosion effect when counting up the hits. If you cast blizzard on it, then ice crystals will form when counting up the hits. If you cast thunder, a yellow electrical effect will appear as it's counting up the hits. Gravity does increase the hit counter, but it doesn't have any sort of special effect for that spell specifically. Looking closer though, this Heartless actually has a blink and you'll miss it low-key dark side to it. This is one of the rare Heartless that don't have any way to attack you whatsoever. If anything, it seems to be one of those lone wanderers that wants to die and is looking for someone worthy enough to do the job. It has a few scout mushrooms which wait around for someone who has the stop spell, the only spell capable of harming it. And once you're done showing it, well, its minions disappear, and the big lad himself appears in the flesh and seems utterly ecstatic that it's found someone worthy of being its executioner. So it's happy about it and just dances with joy. Kingdom Hearts 1 never actually shows you what the accessories look like, because it's just a purple orb in the inventory. The prime cap that you get after getting 100 hits on this thing is very likely this mushroom's head. The prime cap. Yeah, the accessory is most likely this thing's severed head. The journal will count this Heartless being defeated every time you cast the stop spell on it. If this Heartless disappears in front of you, then it's counted in the journal as being defeated even if you never hit it once. So it dies after the first stop spell that you hit it with. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and share this video with your friends. Doing any of these things will help my channel to grow, and will help me to be recognised by the YouTube algorithm. See you next time, guys.